Good to have you back here. It is 3 and Out on this Wednesday afternoon. Kevin Thomas, he is Ben Troop. Glad you're making us a part of your day. Getting to you a little later this afternoon because of the Atlanta Braves. And Ben, Braves lose today. Didn't really do much in the way of offense. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets. And I think after the game today, Ben, you hear a lot of, hey, the Mets are pretty good. I think Charlie Morton's like, yeah, they're better than they were before being last year. It's like, yeah, you think? And so the Braves dropped 2 out of 3, 2.5 out. And I said this one kind of sets the tone for post All-Star break. We'll see what happens over the next 4. Braves go to take on the Washington Nationals, Ben. But you split a 4-game series with them in New York. Earlier this year, they take 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. You still managed to whittle down a 10.5 game lead by 8 games. And you're 2.5 games out. But momentum-wise, I guess confidence-wise, when you play them head-to-head, because that's what it's going to take, I think, to ultimately win the division. How do you feel dropping 2 out of 3 here right before the All-Star break?
I can live with it, Kevin. When you think about a team like the Mets, it's like you said. Look, just like there are no moral victories in sports, the Mets came into this thing playing with a little more desperation than the Braves because they saw they don't have a lead anymore. Like, to go from 10.5 to 1.5, they're looking around like, dude, like, really? But I give the Mets a lot of credit now. I mean, the Mets got some nice bats as well. But what I can appreciate about the Braves is they showed some fight. All right, in the 3-game series, you won 2-1. Kudos to the Mets. But the Braves are showing, look, we getting, Rosario, okay, he's just not getting back, and he's trying to find his rhythm. Matt Olson is a beast. Vote. Listen, if you are a voter, All-Star game voter, yeah, what?
That was us.
I mean, yeah, Austin Riley. Listen, I'm sorry, Austin. I don't know. Listen, obviously they don't want guys going yard. That's what he does. But shout out to the Mets, though. I'm not gonna be one of those people that try to bash the Mets when they go out there and handle what they're supposed to handle. But Kevin is setting up like what you always say. Post All-Star, it's going to be you. If you think this last series was incredible, what they say got 13 games head to head with the Mets.
12, yeah, 12
head to head against the Mets post All-Star. So it's gonna be a fight to the finish. Now, if you are the Braves, you don't like, it's how you look in the 2 losses. I mean, Scherzer, come on, man. I mean, not saying you just expect to lose against him, but ain't nobody gonna go crazy if you lose to Scherzer. He pitched the gym. Strider, showed that like why he is who he is. I think that the thing about this Braves team is they play with a lot of confidence, and the Braves have a mentality of, look, we have a never say die mentality. We understand that it's NL East. It's gonna be who wants it more down the stretch. But shout out to the Mets getting it done, taking 2 out of 3, taking 2 out of 3 from this Braves team, Kevin. But I can always say this. Sometimes you want to see where you are. It's every single game, every single series is a measuring stick to see where you are. The Braves are still very dangerous. There aren't too many teams going to beat them in the series. And sometimes, Kevin, I hate to do it. I hope it's not coming. But market corrections do happen for every single team. I mean, what the Braves did in June was ridiculous. What the Braves did to go from a 10.5 to 1.5 to have a series to walk out this thing 2.5, heading up to the Nature's capital, to play against the Nats. I can live with it. Don't like losing. Obviously. No, the Braves don't. But, Kevin, you got to look at the manner in which everything is going. I mean, always showing some fight. They're still very dangerous. To you trash talkers out there, please. I mean, Kevin, I even saw this. Had some Yankees fans jump on my timeline yesterday, talking a little trash, saying, I said, I'm sorry. Who's the defending World Series champs? Because the last time the Yankees won in 2009, not taking nothing away from the tradition, but it's been a long. But last time we saw y'all was popping bottles in the playing games. So please, I'm just saying. I do know this Mets team. They're getting more confidence as the year goes on. But Kevin, I mean, I don't know how close we are to getting Ozzie back. Rosario is showing that, hey man, I'm trying to go out there and handle my business. I still think this Braves team is one of the best in the bigs, definitely one of the best in the National League. Definitely, I think still the best team in the National League East until proven otherwise. Still got a lot of season left. But shout out to the Mets for handling business. Yes, they stared the Braves in the face, but the Braves didn't just go quietly into the night. Now today's game, obviously, if you want to call it like garbage touchdowns at the end of the game, I'll take the 2 homers, at the end to kind of make it look. But that game kind of got out of hand today. But Jansen back out there, man. I mean, still some good signs. But hey, man, you want to try to get back to your winning ways against the Nets.
Yeah, did not go particularly well. We'll talk more about that. College football, plenty to talk about there as well. The NFL, we're just a week or so away from training camps getting back open there in the National Football League. We'll hit that as well. It is 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back. Here it is, 3 and Out on this Wednesday. Good to have you along. You can follow us across the radio network, espncoastal.com. Go to espncoastal.com. You can listen live. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can give us a shout, 912-342-7184. Braves fans, how do you take it? Drop a 2 out of 3 to the Mets. You're worried about down the road? Is it just a series in July? And that's nothing more than what it is. I don't know about today. It was a day game. You had a lot. I mean, I was telling somebody earlier today, it's like, there's 34,000 people at a Wednesday day game in July where it is hot and steamy. And you're out there watching Braves Mets. I thought especially the last 2 nights felt like playoff baseball in July. I think it was a big series. At the end of the day, obviously you're 2.5 back from 10.5. Wonderful. I do like the fact, Ben, that now you get a chance to kind of recoup a little bit. You get to Washington Nationals. So you just swept. They're the worst team in the division. Maybe an opportunity to go take 3 out of 4 from the Nationals. Headed to the All-Star break on a positive note. Come back and see what you can do. You come out of the All-Star break. The LA Angels are in town. They got Trout. They got Ohtani. But they have been awful. How a team that has some of those players is that bad, I don't know. But they have been awful. So you get a chance coming right out of the All-Star break to jump right back into it. But Ben, I think it hurts a little bit in the short term that you got outplayed and DeGrom is not back yet. Scherzer dominated you, which he's going to do. But again, Charlie Morton got slapped around the yard a little bit today. Spencer Strider pitched all right. Your bats came alive late in the game last night. But again, high pitch count, had to come out of the game early. I think there were some things that happened in this series where you're like, okay, need to play better against the Mets. Just saying the very least. Did not swing the bat all that well. I think, unless I misread it, I think all the Braves runs in this series came on homers. So did not have a whole lot of hits slapping it around the yard when they had opportunities. Monday night? Had second and third with 2 outs. Dansby couldn't get a hit to try to tie the ball game up, but didn't have a lot of hits like we've seen in other series, Ben, where it's, hey, we can score runs with the single, with the double, with the extra base hit. It was home run kind of or bust in this series. And even with the best of teams, I think it's dangerous to say, well, we can sit back and wait for a 2-run homer and we'll be okay. That's a lot of pressure on your offense. So I don't think they hit the ball particularly well in the series. I think there's some things you look at and say we got to improve in those areas when we play the Mets again head to head.
Absolutely. And it's always a measuring stick. I mean, Kevin, one thing about it is this, right? I mean, we forget forget the fact that this is defending World Series champs, Braves. This is defending back-to-back National League East champs. So if you are the Mets, this is years in the making. This is saying, look, man, the reason why I know how to beat the Braves is because they're in our division, and we just trying to show them, hey, what's going to help us is we got big bats, we got some incredible pitching outside of just Scherzer and DeGrom. But if you are the Braves, you know, man, we got to go back. And the thing about baseball is you don't get a lot of chances. You go back to the drawing board and just getting back out to the next day, getting back out to the next day. It's going to be a slugfest, and you want it that way. Excuse me. Why is it harder for teams to repeat in sports? Because you're going to get everybody's best. I mean, you were the top team last year, in baseball. But I think this Mets team is built to play the best team in their division, and that is the Braves. You're supposed to build your team. When the Mets signed Scherzer, we know what they was doing. Dude, we got to deal with these Braves, dude. We got to deal with them. 10.5 games ain't even enough with how well these Braves play. But you are right, Kevin. I mean, you can't get all your. It can't be where you'll take the late game heroics, but you want to listen. You leave a lot of guys on base. It's not like the Braves don't be in a position to score runs. You talk about Kevin game 1. Dansby Swanson swinging at the first pitch. Gotta have because that's what we're not talking about. Dansby Swanson was over in this entire series. He did not get on base one time. So the thing is, you judge the best players against the best teams. Dansby, it's great is what you've done. What you do against the Mets. And that's what keeps every player humble when you talk about baseball or any sport is. I'm not taking away the incredible player you are. I do think you're the best shortstop in baseball. But if you can't perform against a team like the Mets, it's supposed to be on your mind. Now, get back to that confidence level. But Kevin, I mean, he was He was swabbing it. He looked like beginning of the season Dansby against it in this season. I mean, in this series. But you won 1 out of 3. We would have loved to have won 2 out of 3. Got the sweep, but give the Mets a lot of credit. They came in understanding, hey man, this is gonna be, hey, we in Truist, man. It's not gonna be, it's not gonna be a healthy environment for us. We're gonna go out there and see what we can do. We're gonna put our best foot forward, with Scherzer, and that momentum was able to help us, really in game 3, not necessarily game 2, but you'll take it. It is 3 games. It is us talking about, July baseball. They just show you how well both teams are playing. It's hard to get, that type of atmosphere with so many games left in the season, pre-All-Star. But, hey, it's going to make for fireworks, Kevin, them last 12 games against those Mets. Because, listen, nothing is decided today. And the Mets know putting distance between them and the Braves is almost a bad thing for them now to see how well the Braves play. But it's going to come down to those last 12 games of the season to kind of decide. But the Braves are still controlling their own destiny while, being 2.5 games out in the division. But obviously, 4.5 games something up in the wild card. So they still controlling their own destiny.
I think they're in good shape there. Obviously, you don't want to be in that wild card situation. It's again, it's baseball. Anything can happen if you're stuck in that wild card slot, and you could go home really, really quickly. So you want to win that division, get the advantage of doing that. We got so much to get to here on the show. We'll talk more Braves as we're now 4 games out from the All-Star break. You get the Nationals coming up in DC the next 4 nights. We will get to that. NFL's right around the corner. College football right around the corners. We got SEC Media Days, the ACC kickoff coming up next week as well. It is 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you along. Here it is, 3 and out on this Wednesday. Braves fall to the Mets, lose 2 out of 3. Ben, but college football around the corner. SEC Media Days next week. The ACC kickoff coming up next week. And certainly Jeff Collins is going to face some tough questions. New offensive coordinator coming in. You really haven't had an identity on offense in the last 3 years. You're having this will be his 3rd year starting, by the way, in Jeff Sims, not bringing him to the ACC kickoff. Like, I think that says a lot about where you're at as a program, where you get to bring 3 guys and none of them are your 3rd year starter at quarterback. And you have a tough, obviously, schedule ahead. You open up with Clemson. Nobody's doing you any favors. Is this could this be the last ride for Jeff Collins in Atlanta? Again, the schedule is set up where you're not expecting a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you're not expecting a whole lot, you can always vastly overachieve. But what do you think about what he's going to get asked in Charlotte end of next week about his team, their chances? Because, again, he came in, as I said, a lot of sizzle, hadn't been any steak on the plate for them to really hold on to. A couple almost, like I think they drizzled some steak juice and said, hey, you almost beat Clemson. You almost had a couple almost. But there was a program built on sizzle, and that sizzle didn't produce anything, at least to this point. Your best running back is now going to start at Alabama, right? You had a bunch of players transfer out. Where's he at here going into year 4?
What is the direction of the program? Because Kevin, the hardest thing to build in a program is a culture. The thing about any program, I
think he built more culture and no football. I think that's the problem.
Well, I think the thing is, he had the above the line type thing he was doing and different things, but Kevin, this is the bottom line business. The bottom line, you haven't been getting it done, and no one. And I go back to when the Jahmyr Gibbs thing was very, very intriguing because everybody wanted this young man. Everybody. If you're in the Southeast, you wanted him. And Jeff Collins got him, and then when he leaves, like, how do you keep good talent on campus? What incentive do they have to stay on campus? Then, if they are on campus, why, where is Sims at? Why would you bring him here? Or what are you utilizing his talent? Because, and the thing is, the main question is, you were here to shore up this defense. Like, you're a defensive-minded guy. And I think, Kevin, the reason why, a guy like Jeff, right, wrong, indifferent, you got to be competitive. What's hurt Georgia Tech more than anything is not the record. It's who's been to Charlotte. When Pitt and Wake Forest are going to Charlotte for the, to compete, ACC champ, that's what's hurting Georgia Tech, because these aren't superpowers we talking about going to Charlotte. And I get, Kevin, I will say this. I know, 3 wins. You get the 4 wins is not going to be enough because, okay, that's one that you've done every other year. 5 would be incredible when you look at his schedule. If Jeff Collins get the 6 wins, that's still going to be confusing to the fan base. They'll say, dude, you can get 6 wins with this schedule? So I think with Jeff Collins, Kevin, like I said, we were talking about those dominoes teams of, if, they were kind of get add more to a Big Ten or an ACC. Oh, don't think that Georgia Tech is not a destination for either or because of location. Everybody wants the city of Atlanta, and not just to play in SEC championship games or what may have you, bowl games or different. But for Jeff Collins, is the brand of Georgia Tech as well as the tradition of Georgia Tech. They brought you in to boost the reputation, and everybody thought that the triple didn't work. Everybody thought it was outdated. And you see why they took that approach, because the one thing about Georgia Tech you used to know is this. They're the one team you can't, man, it's going to be hard to beat them dudes. Yep. But now, Kevin, what is the offensive identity?
I don't think they know. That's the problem.
Why can't you keep a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs on campus? And if I'm at Georgia Tech or want to come to Georgia Tech, what is the selling point? Because every team got to have a selling point right now in an ACC that with Clemson obviously, hopefully going to have a resurgence. It's kind of wide open right now.
Yeah, look, and again, I'll be interested to see who the favorites are there. I'm sure Clemson will be on one side. On the other side, I don't know who you pick. Honestly, you look on the Coastal side, Pitt, you lost your top receiver. You lost your quarterback to the National Football League. Now you got Keaton Slovis coming over, but outside that, Brent Pry, first-year coach at Virginia Tech. I mean, Virginia's been mid to bottom of the Coastal for a while. Duke, new head coach, probably not going anywhere in terms of trying to contend for anything. Who am I missing? North Carolina has been largely disappointing.
Very. Even when they got
under
Sam Howell, yes.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, you had Sam Howell who ended up getting drafted to the National Football League, and you didn't do much with him.
Very much
at the end of the day. So I think you look at that side of the league, and you're going, well, who is it? What is it? I'll be very interested to see what the media pick is, because I think honestly, you're back to the wacky day where you can literally pick just about anybody and make a case. Now, I don't know if I'd pick Duke or Georgia Tech right now. Maybe not Virginia, but I mean, you look at Brett Pryce could very well come in Blacksburg in year one and win the Coastal. I mean, very well could do it. Pitt, they have a good defense, but who knows what they're going to do offensively. They've had their ups now. Miami, I mean, that's great. But, I mean, how many years are you going to pick Miami? Exactly. If you went on, I'm saying, but if you went on just straight talent, you'd be like, oh, Miami. They've been to the ACC championship, what, one time?
Once.
One time.
A whopping one.
So again, I'm not saying they won't go this time.
Mm-hmm.
But you got, what, Van Dyke is a quarterback? Is he going to be the guy to get you there? Do you feel 100% locked in like it's Miami and everybody else? I don't know. I think you can go 3 or 4 different ways there on that side of the conference. I think Clemson, maybe Wake Forest on the Atlantic side. I think Florida State should be a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you look at some of the NC State should be really good. Can NC State beat both of those teams? I think NC State has kind of become the new Clemson on that side, where it's like they're very good and they're like, hey, if they can just win this week, that'll set them up. Oh, and they lost. It's like everything's setting up for you, and then you lose a game you're not supposed to lose, and you're out of it. So I'm interested to say, I think it'll be Clemson, and it really could be 3 or 4 different teams. I think maybe prevailing sentiment will be Miami, but how do you pick them with any kind of confidence? New coach, Mario Cristobal, again, new coach coming in. I mean, he's from South Florida. Okay. He's recruited well. Okay. I mean, there's been some other coaches that have recruited all right,
mm-hmm.
and haven't been able to get it done. I think it's fascinating to see what happens.
It is going to be fascinating. I mean, Miami's going to be the easy and sexy pick, right? I mean, Mario Cristobal coming over from Oregon, former Miami Hurricane, really incredible recruiting. Miami,
and he goes back to the U.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not saying like he goes back to the days of like, we're the U, not Miami, like the U.
Exactly. And this notion of, man, back when we played can't help you now. Like all those things, like Mario Cristobal is under, they're trying to not only just, go to Charlotte. They're trying to get back to those olden days. Well, that's not happening. Miami was one of the most feared teams in college football, not just in the Big East, in the ACC. I think the thing about Miami is talent development. You got the talent. Can you develop them? Because y'all put the guys, I mean, y'all have Phillips and Rousseau. You'll have both of your defensive ends go first round, and y'all not in Charlotte. So Cristobal, he understands the work that's ahead of him. He understands the things he has to do. You talk about in North Carolina, Kevin, when they had, 2,000-yard receivers, 2,000-yard rusher, and Sam Howell, y'all still getting, y'all getting blanketed. Y'all losing to Florida State. NC State is always a head scratcher because they're good enough to beat anybody in ACC, and they can lose anybody. They'll just lay an egg like, hey, man, North Carolina State, they're undefeated right now. Yeah, but it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. NC State going to lose to a Virginia team that's depleted with a last-second field goal. Duke is a head scratcher as well. I mean, they're the team that, hey, man, whatever you give us in football is a bonus. I mean, because we understand, like, Coach Cutcliffe really did an incredible job when he was there. But Newton, a lot of new coaches in the ACC this year. Virginia Tech, you got Virginia, you got Duke. But Coach Collins, guess what? Yeah, you're gonna have to be in the mix, and that's the thing, right, Kevin? It's like this. Okay, ain't but one team gonna represent this side to go to Charlotte. Yeah. How do you look in the mix? Are you more at the bottom, or are you in the middle? Because sometimes being in the middle gives that optimism to say, okay, man, it's good to say at least we weren't last. At least we ain't the bottom feeders. I mean,
that's where it's gotten to.
But I will say that if Jeff Collins can put listen, if he can pull, 2 swans and 3 rabbits out of a hat this year, it's gonna be up for Coach of the Year, not just AC Coach. Because this schedule, I don't know what the Yellow Jackets did, but my God, this.
Well, I know they made it a long time ago, but yeah,
it's brutal.
Wasn't doing anybody any
Yeah.
favors at that point. We got more to come here on this Wednesday. Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. It is 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Oh, good to have you back. here on 3 and Out. We'll talk some college football, SEC Media Days next week. Also, the NFL getting ready to come back with training camps. I know a lot of people up in arms about, I forget who it was, did their top 10. They didn't have Lamar Jackson in the top 10 quarterbacks. Again, I don't know how he's, again, I'm not going to argue that he needs to be like 5 or 6, but probably should be in the top. I mean, he's made the playoffs several times.
Yes.
Got an MVP.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, Kevin, we live in a world to way sensationalized.
Well, I mean,
you know, media. And
you make a list like that to get everybody upset, and well, yeah, they did that.
I mean, people say, yeah, man, Dak has been he's been playing a little better than Lamar. In what world? When's the last time Dak Prescott won a playoff game? Yeah,
okay. If you had to say, because I know this will make people mad.
Yes.
Is there a more overhyped quarterback than Dak Prescott in the National Football League? No, I'm saying because people will say, like, it's because
is there a more hype quarterback than the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? No.
I mean, but Troy Aikman was winning Super Bowls. I mean,
not named Troy Aikman. I'm talking about Troy Aikman. I got so sick of talking about Tony Romo. I said, what is Tony Romo gonna do? No, this thing though.
Never a more hyped quarterback with 0 playoff wins.
0. I mean, he gonna light it up. He's like, oh my God, out in the first round. Like, I don't want. That's the thing, though. When you talk about branding, Jerry Jones.
But why is that? Because I think if you were to ask people to do a top 10, like almost everybody would say Dak is in the top 10. And you go based on what?
Based on what? His rookie year?
Well, just saying, not even that. I mean, you look at other guys. Like, what is the difference in Dak Prescott and why did he just slip my in San Diego? The Chargers.
You're talking about Justin Herbert.
What's the difference?
I don't think there is one. You know what's crazy? People had Justin Herbert over Lamar Jackson. They said, look, man, he got more touchdowns. Who cares? How many playoff games? Hasn't made the playoffs. And the thing is, right, what are we judging these quarterbacks on? Are we judging on yards? I mean, because Kirk Cousins can give you a bunch of yards, bunch of touchdowns, because he got Justin Jefferson, because he got, Adam Thielen, because he got Irv Smith Jr. Is he making the playoffs? No. Don't give me the meaningless stats, right? Give me the stats that matter. Is he?
I always feel like you're going to get publicly shamed if you question if Dak Prescott is overhyped a little bit.
Oh, come at me, Dallas.
No, I'm saying, like,
but Kevin, there was.
At least with the other guys, you can say
the most annoying, get on your nerves fan base on the planet is Dallas Cowboys fans. They literally are everywhere. They are. They are everywhere. But just because they are the hashtag wait till next year, every year, wait till next year. And what? What are they gonna do? Most of the players that play for the Cowboys right now was just coming out.
And on top of that, I mean, is the NFC East very reminiscent of the AFC East when Tom Brady was winning? It's like you have nobody. Well, the Patriots were, but like you're in a division. The Eagles are solid.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants,
no.
Washington,
no.
Like, who's standing in your way?
As I'm saying,
so,
how you know people say, how you know the Commanders don't care about winning what? Because they traded for Carson Wentz. They don't care. They trying to make it do what it do right now. And Daniel Jones, this could be his last year as a Giant. Daniel Jones went number 6 overall in 2019. Number 6. Why? Because I was there. People are going, what? Yes. Coach Cutcliffe was there, But yeah, Kevin, you're right. I will say this now, outside of tradition, because it's definitely very tradition rich. I mean, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, very tradition rich. Winning? No. And in the sense, Kevin, you take away the tradition, Oh, the NFC East ain't that much different than the NFC South. If you take away tradition, because that bottom feeder line is woo. Man, when you move, every time I come up in here, you up in here. Well, and this thing, if Dallas don't win the division and the Eagles win it, because I'm sorry, you had Amari.
I'm saying, but like, what was it? Was it last year or was it the COVID year where like everybody in the NFC East was
bad,
was awful? Somebody's got to win this thing.
Guess who won it that year? The Commander. Listen, the no-name team wanted to. Listen,
the Washington football team.
All I'm saying is you had a team that didn't want to do. It was the Washington football team, the no-name team, and they said that Daniel Snyder is on his yacht, but so he cannot be served papers. That, people, is what rich people do.
We'll come back. One more hour to go here. It is 3 and Out all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. We are streaming live ESPNCoastal.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Final hour of 3 and Out. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop, glad you're with us. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Big 12 is open for business. So the new commissioner, Brett Yormark, said today, Big 12 open. Was it closed for business before? Was that? Was that I was just wondering. I was like, does that mean, does open for business mean have telephone will answer? Colorado, Utah, Arizona State.
Click.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
I did see somebody make the thing, said, hey, if they took the Four Corners schools, the Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and brought them into the conference, they said the Big 12 would have that 16 teams and they would be represented by 12 states. So they could be the Big 12 and make it make sense, kind of. I mean, that's a stretch.
That could.
But you look at this thing, obviously the SEC said we're good at 16. The Big 12 is open for business. What does that make the Pac-12 at this point?
Exactly.
I don't know. If the Big 12 is open for business, what is the Pac-12? You just lost your two best teams, or are going to lose.
Just lost your cash cow.
Oregon and Washington apparently couldn't speed dial the Big 10 fast enough to at least say, hello?
Kevin Warren.
Hey, you got something for us? Well, we're waiting on Notre Dame. Oh, well, hey, you got our number, right? You got our number? Okay. So you see stuff like that, and you go, is the Big 12? Yeah, the Big 12 is open for business when it comes to expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking. So where are you going? Is Colorado, Utah, are they sitting around going, better get while the getting's good? Because Oregon and Washington are looking. Is the Big 12 actually viable for some of those schools from the Pac-12 to jump?
Yes, because of location. You're trying to get as close to the middle of the country as you possibly can if you are in Oregon, if you are in Utah, because what you're saying is, look, we already called the Big Ten. They told us, we'll call you. Don't call us. You're not Notre Dame. What type of package deal can we do? Because, Kevin, once again, this is about staying power. This is about being able to be recognized nationally. This is about staying. See, people go, what is a brand? It's nationally relevant. Like, I know who you are. If I've never been, I know a bunch of restaurants I've never been to. I know a bunch of cars I cannot afford. But I know them if I see them. That's a brand. That's a brand. When you start thinking about if somebody says blind taste test, average casual fan, I'm gonna give you the Pac-12 teams and I'm gonna give you the Big 12 teams. Can you tell me who's who? And the answer is no. I cannot tell you who's who. I cannot tell you.
Yeah. Here's an interesting part for SEC fans out there. Brett Yormark, the new commissioner of the Big 12, somebody asked him, was like, what about Texas and Oklahoma leaving early? He said, I'm not against it, but it's going to have to be in the best interest of the conference, obviously, i.e. cha-ching. Who's getting paid? Who's getting paid? How much is it going to cost? How many suitcases of money do we have to line up to make it happen?
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
they're leaving anyway.
Yeah,
how
leave,
much
right?
money?
You gotta leave. Listen, Texas, Coach Sark, Coach Venables, if you guys got to get up out of here, whoa. But before you go, it says here,
the bill is still due.
You guys are supposed to be here another year, yeah. If I go way down, that's a pretty big buyout.
Yeah, the fine print says.
I mean, so all I'm saying is I could, in my best interest, let y'all leave without getting something.
I think the best interest would be you have a backup plan, i.e. potentially 4 more schools, and you could say, well, if we get these 4 schools that can come in early, we'll let you leave early for the right price.
Now,
there's a lot of people that think that it's not going to be till the end of this thing with Texas and Oklahoma. I think at least a year. There is
0% chance USC and UCLA is going to the Big Ten and having their Big Ten media days, and all of a sudden Texas, Oklahoma.
It's like, we got another year. Wait a minute.
All I'm saying is listen, Sun Belt. Y'all want to go back to what the Sun Belt did? They got 4 of them. Oh, no. We put y'all on the schedule right now. I don't care. Listen, y'all gonna have to work it out. Did it get worked out? It got worked out. I think Greg Sankey goes, look, man.
There's a number involved with everything.
Here you go. I mean, look, what's the number, Greg? Greg, you tell me the number, man. What's it gonna take to get? Because they coming. What you mean?
I'm gonna write it down on this piece of paper.
Greg say, come on down here to Alabama. Come on down here to the headquarters. Let me show you what we're working on over here. What we're cooking up with marketing. You're gonna show me this yet? Because you can't tell anybody what you saw. Oh my gosh, y'all already got it's already in the works. We already got them on the SEC scheduling right here, man. We ain't waiting. And in a sense, look, man, I get it. Well, listen, welcome to the world of being a commissioner. Welcome.
If the price is right, we'll make it happen.
And for those who think for those who think, hey man, everybody can't be bought out. Ha! See, that stuff
that happens
good.
every single day.
Somebody's getting bought out right now. And if you ever in a position to get bought out, let me tell you what Chris Rock said. You have won. If you are getting bought out, that means, man, I don't want to leave. Well, let me see. That's all that? Yeah, all right. If that's what it's going to, but because Kevin, this is the thing. When's the last time a commissioner ever said he's open the line, we're open for business? Before I say anything,
yeah,
we're open. And I can appreciate that because what he's really saying is, yo, Pac-12 teams, come holler at me.
We're still here.
Yeah. Listen. Arizona State, UW, Oregon, come out. Because number one, the Big 12 is saying this. Man, take a good look at this stage with these jerseys, with these teams. Because it's the thing, people talk about 2024. I don't know. Because people might get aggressive and say, because I might want Texas and Oklahoma to come over a little earlier. So all I'm saying is, Kevin, when you start thinking about what the commissioner is saying, he said, look, man, y'all know it. The days of things coming out without y'all knowing, y'all privy to what's going on. Y'all know what's going on. We want to save the Big 12 because if anything, the Big 12 is a big enough brand to be salvaged. I don't think the Pac-12 is. The Pac-12 don't got the same, because at least the Big 12, they've had recent college football playoff contender, Oklahoma, the biggest brand in college football money-wise, Texas. So we've got that. Pac-12, USC, UCLA, they're going to the Big 10. Oregon has Nike. I heard Utah got some real nice slopes. I'm just saying it's not working together. So yes, Kevin, I'm coming in saying before I say a word, we open for business. My cell phone, my assistant has it. Call her or him right now. We can make something happen because if not, if the Pac-12 goes away, I don't think it's going to be that devastating because that part of the country, as far as like fandom, ain't the same. Big 12 country, hey, they love their football now. And guess what? I mean, Mike Gundy and them, they said, look, man, I want to be here. And I could be a headliner. I was never going to be a headliner with Oklahoma and Texas here, no matter what I did as a program. But as far as big programs, Oklahoma State, big time now. I mean, Baylor is big enough. Like some of these teams are big enough. But you add an Oregon, you add a UW.
I don't know if they're going to add them. I think they're going to stay regional. Colorado, BYU, or not BYU, Utah, Arizona State. And the rest are just left hanging out there. As you said, where are you going to go? I mean, like I said, if I'm Cal, Stanford, Oregon State, Washington State, I'm real nervous. You could wind up in Big Sky country real quick, right? I mean, it could happen at the end of the day. Because again, where's the Pac-12 going to go? Boise State? You going to bring Hawaii in to strengthen up the like? What are you doing? There's nothing out that way. That you're going to bring in San Diego State, the Aztecs, San Jose State. That's that. Like, where are you going?
Because you got and the thing about it is too, Kevin. This is the thing about a plan. Plans have to be executed and plan has to be adjusted. Any plan that cannot be executed or adjusted is not a plan at all. That's hoping and wishing. If you are the Big 12, there are teams that you have in mind. You need to be saying, look, I mean, we got to put together a game plan. Oregon has shown that they want to move. They don't want to stay. UW has shown that they don't want to move. They don't want to stay. Those are the two biggest that you can snag. Sorry, Utah. You're not the same. You don't bring the same. Even if you are defending Pac-12 champs, you ain't the same as UW. Now, you start saying this. Hey, Kevin, you said it. Colorado. Hey, what's up? Y'all want to, because this is about staying relevant. This is about being attached to a brand that is going to help boost your brand. Because Colorado, your old coach just got $94 million. Oh, that's right. He never coasted down. Mel Tucker went through it, had a nice little, look at this facility. Michigan State. That's what big brands can do. They can snatch your coach from you. You don't believe me? Where was Manny Diaz at? I'm so happy the man to be at. Snatched him up, went in Miami. Now he's fired again. I'm telling y'all, big brands have power, prestige, and cheese. That's what they got. You don't believe me? Notre Dame got coaches leaving, not getting fired. I'm going to leave and go to LSU.
Yeah, nobody would have thought
Changing
about that.
accents, got a little more cheese. You know, I'm just
That's
saying.
the funniest thing of the whole thing. Oh, my family.
At the end of the day,
I'm gonna start taking videos from the club with my
Hey, check
recruits.
this out. For those of you who don't think that kind of stuff matters, Dabo Sweeney can't dance a lick.
No,
He's
it doesn't.
still
No,
trying.
I think that stuff doesn't matter. So, like Brian Kelly, don't dance for recruits. No.
Everybody in Massachusetts.
Everybody saw that video, and it's like, and you still didn't get the kid, and you look like an idiot. That's what I mean. That's what I would say.
He did. You know what
I
he's
mean,
doing
that
right
kid
now?
go back. He's like,
Listen,
do you know
listen,
what's happened?
Let me tell you something.
He went back to his buddy. Said, "Let me tell you what
Hey, you know
Brian Kelly did."
You know what? That's really
He said
embarrassing.
they had me in there with a disco ball, a strobe light, and a pole, and I'm in there dancing with Brian Kelly. What are we doing?
Exactly.
I'm not going there. We're going.
and that's disrespectful to the boot. To the boot. That's the state of Louisiana. Call it the boot. It's plenty of people in Baton Rouge that can dance. You couldn't find one choreographer.
Maybe he should have danced with Arch Manning.
He ain't lying. Jesus. Hey Archie. Hey Arch. Help this man. Boo this man.
Arch Manning's like, I don't think so, Coach.
Coach, listen, I might not know exactly how it's supposed to look, but I know it's supposed to look like that. I'm like, what is he doing? Like when somebody said, what is he doing? What the music's playing? Can he hear it? No. Not he can't.
It's like the Tin Man. You gotta grease up those knees and elbows.
Listen, coach, go get you some butter, some WD-40, stick behind your knees and elbows. We got to get you right, man, because that's ridiculous. If you're gonna do it, do it.
We got more to come here on 3 and Out SEC Media Days next week. The Big 12 open for business. Mike Gundy laying it down to Texas and Oklahoma a little bit at Big 12 Media Days. We'll get to that and more. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Yeah, Mike Gundy coming with the saltiness there at the Big 12 Media Days, been saying, look, if Oklahoma and Texas are here, but if they want to leave, I don't think they should be in any of this stuff. They want out. So never, as you know, Ben, in sports, never let pettiness stand in the way of doing something like Mike. Hey, they shouldn't be here. I'm sure Greg Sankey's like, well, hey, tell them to lower that number. They can come on over here and play. I'm sure he'll be asked about that next week at SEC Media Days. And certainly you talk about his team's got not one, but a couple contenders been for national championship. I think Alabama. We'll see about Texas A&M, but Georgia's going to be right there, obviously, as defending national champs with a chance to get back into the college football playoffs, and SEC on top of the world right now, as they have been for quite some time.
And the thing about it is, I mean, listen, what I appreciate about Coach Mike Gundy, he keeps it in the book. He said, look, I don't like these other teams. I don't like none of them. I definitely don't like Oklahoma and Texas because y'all asking me about them. Ask me about the Cowboys. Don't ask me about the Longhorns. Don't ask me about the Sooners. They don't want to be here yet. We still catering to them. They sit and walk around here kikiing, knowing they up out of here, right? That's like having somebody who you do not like and they invited to your big venues. I don't like them, and here they are. But you see why the SEC is what it is. The SEC is going to be talking about adding Texas and Oklahoma, who's not going to be there, while the Big 12 is talking about Texas, Oklahoma, who's currently there. The most money, the biggest brand in college football as far as revenue is Texas. They're about to get up out of there, and they're about to add a Manning. Coach Venables is doing the whole going back to your alma mater type thing, trying to get it done, which is very, very hard to do with Oklahoma. But Coach Mike Gundy is saying, look, man, I'm salty. Y'all ask me about Texas and Oklahoma, I'm going to give y'all the real, man. Because if you think about it, Kevin, though, he is, think about this, only in sports. I can tell you, hey, man, I know you here right now, but I know you out of here in 3 years, but let's just act like you really want to be here when I know you don't. You're only here because they haven't paid for you to leave yet. Because if it's like breaking news, buyout, think about that. What if breaking news happened? Breaking news, Texas and Oklahoma just got bought out. I mean,
they're going to pay the buyout at the end of the year, yeah.
Man, I just want to say I'm happy to be here. What? Really? Fellas, man, I appreciate it, man. I got to get it's crazy because let's call college football what it is. It's big business. It's one of the biggest businesses you're going to have. But Mike Gundy is saying, look, man, I want to play with teams and I want to be in a league to where I want to be in, and I'm celebrated. Guess what? I'm not celebrated. Y'all celebrating the two teams is getting up out of here. I'm tolerated right now. I finally get to be a headliner because of default, because they leaving. So, yes, Kevin, I appreciate Mike Gundy saying what he's saying. He's saying what a lot of coaches want to say, but other coaches going to be like, no, I'm not going to say anything that's going to bring there. I don't care. I ain't like Urban Meyer. I ain't like Coach Tressel. None of them. I don't like these big-time coaches that get to come up in here, these big-time programs. Nope, don't like them. Didn't like Lincoln Riley, right? Glad he's gone. Don't like Venables, right? Didn't like Coach Charlie Strong. None of them. Don't like Sarkisian. None of them. Because what happens is, Kevin, every time I'm talking about your brand, I'm not talking about mine. Every time I'm talking about the teams that's leaving, it's almost like going to training camp and they worrying about the people that's not here. They ain't worried about the ones that's here. So Mike Gundy understands this too. Hey, man, while I'm looking forward to be the headliner when they leave, is it going to matter? Because that's what we're really not saying. Is the Big 12 going to matter if they don't add? Because, Kevin, they got to add something. They're going to have to add something. I'm sorry. But I don't think people are going to be going crazy for, what?
UCF, Oklahoma State.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, man, I'm on the state of Texas, man. I think people embrace, I think what Houston is probably going to embrace it the way TCU did. Was like, hey, this is our shot to step up. It's like Houston starts beating Baylor and Texas Tech. Like, where you at?
Yeah.
Who's the team in Texas at this point? So I think there are some schools that are going to benefit from it, but I do think you have the commissioner coming in and say, hey, we're open for business. They're hunting teams. They are. Because I think they know if we poach from the Pac-12, we don't have to worry about them no more. They're done. Hey, we're secure.
True.
So
how does something like in sports, you got disgruntled superstars, right? They'll say, I want to be traded. Disgruntled superstars or 5 stars in college, they'll say, all right, I'm just gonna hold y'all hostage or whatever, and then I'm gonna get up out of here and I'm gonna go to the highest bidder, right? But people start saying, well, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, when's the last time outside of Georgia, who was loaded with 5 stars, a guy Stetson Bennett who grew up a Georgia fan and wanted to get it done? Talent, yeah, beats hard work, people. I'm going to say that again. Talent beats hard work. Why? Because one person just inherited something while the other person got to just learn how to work hard. Like when people say, no. You think Georgia, if that was the case, we just going to talent develop? No, we're not. We're going to get some of the most talented, gifted players in the country, and we're going to give them our program. The end. That's it. Teach them how to work. Get them to enjoy the process. When people say, nah, man, I'm telling you, TC, you got just as good a talent. No. That's and Kevin, when you get sick of that kind of stuff, right? Look at Major League Baseball. A correlation of good players and good teams. The end. Not. Nah, man, I'm telling you, man, that we just take we just Ronald Acuna Jr., Michael Harris, Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson. Notice the trend? Really, really good. Some of the best at their position, right? Yeah. Who plays for the Marlins? Doesn't matter. See? College football is the same way. I want the best players to give them our culture, to give them our program, and we gonna win. So Mike Gundy is saying, dude, we recruit well, but guess what? Yeah, our greatest player in the last when I think Oklahoma State, I think Dez Bryant, Blackman, Barry Sanders. Get a little lost outside of that, right?
Brock Osweiler? No Brock Osweiler?
No, not no Brock Osweiler. Not no Chubba. What's it? Chubba Hubbard. Chubba Hubbard. So what's happening now is, Kevin, who the best? Kevin, you talking about the quarterbacks in the SEC. If they walk in here right now, you go, oh, what's up, Hendon? Oh, what's up, AR-15? Oh, what's up, Stetson? Right? And on and on and on and on. Oh, what's up, Levis? If every Big 12 quarterback walked around with their jersey on, with their name on the back, you would go, who is that? I'm telling you all this stuff. And guess what? The biggest one, won't ever play. This is what's going to happen. Arch Manning, I guarantee you, his first snap will be in the SEC. Mark my words now. His first snap. I want to say mark my words.
No, you already said it. I'm writing it down.
No.
You're done.
I believe his first snap is going to, and I'm going to tell you what Mike Gundy is really doing, though. OUers, started out Ohio State, now Texas, he got a nice mullet. Real nice mullet. Mike Gundy don't like that. Look at his hair.
Another trend.
I don't want to compete. His mullet is nice. But I will say this, though. I do agree. Mike Gundy does make a good point, saying, look, if they don't want to be here, they shouldn't be here. Yeah, well, Mike, you going to pay for them? Hell no, I'm not paying for them to leave. But they don't need to be here. New commissioner gets introduced. He's talking about we're open for business.
Yep.
That, people, that's the first ever introductory press conference. We're open for business.
Yep.
Question. Open for business. What do you mean by open for business? It just depends on what they say.
We're ready to expand. Hey, we're doing it. Look, he's being aggressive. I think he knows he's got some upper hand right now when it comes to this conference stuff, Ben. And he could be agreeing. Come on, say, look, we're open for business. You want school? You know the Pac-12's got wondering eyes. Don't think Stanford and Cal aren't looking out for themselves on some level, going, hey, can we jump to the Big 12 if we don't think a Big 10 invite's coming? I mean, seriously, you gonna sit back and wait on a Big 10, and then the Big 12's like, no, we're good. We got who we want.
Can I get a? I mean, Kevin, think about this. I used to be the creme de la creme. Now I'm trying to get a date to the prom. I mean, it's and to me,
that's how quickly it changes for certain programs in college football.
I gotta ask you this though: has it always been like every team? I'm gonna say this: every conference is top heavy. Every conference is. Every last one of them. ACC, Big 10, Big 12, whatever, Pac-12, SEC. When it comes to the Big 12, is this their worst nightmares happening? Like,
I mean, the Pac-12.
I'm sorry, the Pac-12. Yeah. The Big 12, their worst nightmares happen because they saying, look, man, our two golden gooses, cash cows, whatever you want to, they're leaving.
You're gonna be left with
Are we heavy enough as a group? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
That's what you realize real quick is you look on that stage, every team not named Texas and Oklahoma got asked about Texas and Oklahoma today. Think about that. They only asking Texas and Oklahoma, hey man, how y'all feel about going to the SEC? But they keep it about them. Coach Gundy is being asked about Oklahoma. He being asked about Texas. He go, man, they standing over there. Yeah, man, we want to know. So I do think this is going to be very, very interesting. I think that though, if the Big 12 can pull some teams from the Pac-12, Kevin, what people ain't really, how much pressure does this put on the ACC again? Because, hey man, it's about programming. Kevin, I know you said it earlier. You know, I mean, late Saturday afternoon. You know, I mean, you got TCU versus Baylor, and then you got Duke. You know, versus Boston College. You got to make a decision.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we got more to come. Here it is. 3 and out. Pro NFL training camps opening up very, very soon. Of course, everybody's getting into the top 10. A lot of discussion thrown out there about Lamar Jackson, not in the top 10. Who has been top 10, though? You look at it, and I think you and I both agree who the top 3 are.
Yep.
After that, I think it becomes up for debate. We'll get to that next. It's 3 and out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. He can also coach football pretty good. I always laugh when I hear that from Coach Rick. I am an ACC college football analyst. Like, well, you do a little bit more than that there, Coach. You did pretty good at Georgia. Miami, I get it. Could have maybe done things a little bit. Excellent football coach. Mark Rick. SEC Media Day is coming up next week. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. But obviously been a lot of people been out of shape when you come out with these top 10 lists. They're like, where's Lamar Jackson? Why is he not in the top 10? He's not in the top 10, so everybody get all mad about it. That's why it is. But I wanted to hear your top 10. I think you and I agreed. Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, pretty solid 3. I don't know what order you have them in, but clearly I think they're the best 3. What do you have here? Your top 10 NFL quarterbacks year 2022.
Yep. I mean,
since I just said that, I'll even let you start from the top.
No, Rodgers, Brady, and Mahomes, depending on how you. I mean, they are my top 3. Boom. Now you start talking about 4 to 10. My number 4.
What's your top 3?
I will go Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes. I'll go Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes. Rodgers coming off, another MVP. Brady, I mean, he's Benjamin Button, and Pat Mahomes. I mean, one of the greatest throwers of football we've ever seen. Then you start going from 4 to 10. My number 4, because he's gonna play this year, I will go Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson when he plays. I mean, I don't think he lost anything, but I got to give him my number 4. The guy is phenomenal for what he brings. My number 5, Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a guy that, to me, finds a way, to have. He has elevated the status quo of the Buffalo Bills, and he's already signed another deal. My number 6 is Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, people. People say he's a system quarterback. No, he is the system. Out of all the tight ends in the National Football League, the first team All-Pro, Mark Andrews. He's a guy. I mean, Lamar Jackson's already won an MVP, won a playoff game, and if they wasn't riddled by injuries last year, they probably would have made the playoffs again. Lamar Jackson is my number 5. I'm sorry.
No,
my number 6.
Okay.
Sorry. My number 7. Russell Wilson. Kevin, I know how you feel about the Russell Wilson thing. I think Russell Wilson.
Look, I think he's good. I think he's overhyped a little bit. That's all.
He's a guy that definitely boosted the status quo of the Denver Broncos. I think he's the guy, you give him the right weapons around him, I think he's going to be really, really good. Really, really good. Right? Really good. My number 8 is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a good QB, man. I mean, he's in a division that's very, very down. It's not his fault. Him and CeeDee Lamb and Zeke can come. They're gonna find a way to go out there and make things happen. And make it happen in a big way. My number 9, Justin Herbert. Kid can play. And I know that AFC West is going to be the truth.
Yeah, brutal.
It's going to be brutal. But Justin Herbert, if they're not winning because of him, and you add a Khalil Mack to go along with Bosa, that helps. It helps out a lot. But my number 10, go a lot of ways here, people. A lot of ways. You have Matthew Stafford. Have Derek Carr, Kyler Murray. For me, number 10 is Derek Carr. This is why. Derek Carr plays for the Raiders in the AFC West. He had it. And the thing about him is, when you start talking about what he brings, he's helping you win games. Darren Waller, guy by the name of Hunter Renfrow, and there's this bum that he just got. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Devontae Adams. He stinks. He's going to make him so much worse. But no, Kevin, I mean, and that is my top 10. I got to give Deshaun Watson a lot of love. I think that his talent level is not being shown of the teams. Now, we're going to see whenever he does play with Cleveland. Before he got hurt, he led the NFL in passing yards. And I know we get caught up in the what stats matter, what stats don't matter. I don't have a Matthew Stafford in there, even though I think he could easily be in the top 10.
You just started a whole nother controversy. But
I will say, when you start out, but this is about Lamar Jackson not being in the top 10. In what world? Like, how do you justify that? When people start saying, well, dude, he's not a good – you do realize you can't win the MVP in the NFL at quarterback without, I don't know, being top 2 or 3 in passing yards and efficiency. The year he won the MVP, he had the most passing touchdowns with Tom Brady, with Russell Wilson, with Justin Herbert, with Aaron Rodgers. All I'm saying is people act like winning the MVP It's simple to do. You know who doesn't have a regular season MVP? Yeah, Drew Brees. Drew Brees never had a regular season. Well, yeah, because it's hard to do. And, Kevin, when you go back to the draft, the Ravens drafted a safety because they believe in Lamar Jackson. And for people start saying, yeah, man, but they had to cater the offense to what he does. That's called being, I don't know. Man, what's your name?
Football.
Yeah, I'm the new offensive coordinator. What's your name, sir? My name is Common Sense. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like
I have Peyton Manning as my quarterback. Who do we got running back though? I'm going to carry the offense.
I'm gonna run the rock. No, I think that when you start talking Lamar Jackson, look, Lamar Jackson is what people hope that Michael Vick could have became as a passer, as a thrower. Yeah, he got wheels. When people start saying, look, man, if he just couldn't run, what are you talking about? Like he can still. They got rid of Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown went on out there to Arizona. You know, he's gonna be out there with Cliff Kingsbury. You know, I think Lamar Jackson, they added Sammy Watkins up there. I think that the thing about Lamar Jackson, he's just uncanny with what he does. He's a freak athlete, but he also is a quarterback. You're supposed to have different variations. I think Justin Herbert is a young talent who has a lot of untapped potential with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and company out there with him. But it don't mean the thing when it comes, because Kevin, when it comes to quarterbacks, you got to get a ring. That's why I got Pete Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. What they got in common? Super Bowl MVP. All three of them. I mean, Tom Brady's really number one. Until he leaves, his last year, that's the most touchdowns he's ever thrown in a season. And he was 43?
Yeah.
So but a top 10 list that doesn't have Lamar Jackson on it, Kevin, I can't trust it.
Can't take it serious.
Because like I said, I threw Dak in there for you Dallas Cowboys because I know I was talking trash to y'all earlier in the game. I don't care. Dak is good though.
I think you could take him out and put Matt Stafford in there.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. But somebody said this. When it comes to quarterbacking in the National Football League, if you don't have a quarterback that's top 10 or right there near to the top 10, it's going to be a long season.
Sure.
That drop off is
where's Marcus Mariota on your list, Ben?
Listen, I tell you this. It's almost like Marcus Mariota looking over. He's like, "Hey man, I'm looking at your list. I don't see my name on there, boy. You listen. You over here.
I just hadn't got to you yet.
I ain't got to you yet, man. We talking about the top 10. All right.
So I'm like 11.
It's thinking about Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
I will say this. Got a lot of rookies going into their second year. Trevor Lawrence, and Trey Lance, and Mac Jones and all those type of guys. I still think those guys are going to be good, but I wouldn't have them over a guy like Marcus Mariota yet because he does have experience, right? I just think that Marcus Mariota, I look at him as something different at the quarterback position. Like he's there to just right the ship, man. Make it so that, man, show them that you can be a game manager, a facilitator, not let a drop off because Desmond, I love you. But you don't want Desmond coming up in here because now he's trying to figure out the position. But make no mistake about it, Jameis Winston, he's scratching the claw to keep his together too.
He's probably not in a much different situation.
Yeah, I agree. But Kevin, it's like baseball in a sense, Kevin. I mean, the best outfielder compared to the worst, it's a huge gap. Not just like Michael Harris. I mean,
him sitting next to Marcell Ozuna. It's a pretty wide gap. It's easy to see.
All Marcell do every day he comes to the ballpark and say, "You good, Mike? You good?" Okay, I'm just because I saw you coughing over there.
I'm just gonna stand over here.
I saw you coughing over there. No. But all season when it comes to quarterbacking, when's the last time a top 10 quarterback didn't win the Super Bowl?
I get it. I think that would be my one. I get your Matt Stafford. I would think he probably should be in there. My one, I guess, beef with your list is I think you do have Deshaun Watson too high. Hasn't played in the year plus. We'll see how much he gets to play this year. But Ben, I think is he Dak Prescott Jr.? He go put up some stats, but he's you have him at number 4. Have they won a playoff? They won a playoff? Did he win a playoff game?
Yeah, he won. He won one.
Oh, so he's got one win.
I will say this about Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson, it's you got to have guys around you. And let's face it, he did have D-Hop. I ain't saying that. but they got rid of everybody and expected him to make miracles happen.
I'm not saying his last year he played, it wasn't tough. But prior to that,
I will say this about Deshaun Watson, though, Kevin. I think what the Cleveland Browns are thinking, they said, look, man, we're trying to take some of the load off you. Like, okay, you're going to have Kareem Hunt. You're going to have Nick Chubb. You're going to have, David Njoku and Austin Hooper. We're going to give you some nice guys on the outside, but we're going to give you a defense. So we're going to make it so that the run game is going to take some of the pressure off you because we know you can make things happen. I don't know if there are 9 quarterbacks on the planet better than Deshaun Watson. I mean, I just don't. So he's in the top 10. You can move him to the bottom 10, the bottom half of the top 10. He's a top 10 quarterback. His talent is unmatched. He has off the field problems. Big time. So I think that, and two, Kevin, it's what you want. What type of quarterback? I mean, the thing about the quarterback, if we're looking at a quarterback menu, you got a lot of different things to choose from. Do I want guys to operate outside of the pocket really, really well? Like, look, guess who operates outside the pocket better than anybody? Guess who improvises more than anybody? That would be Pat Mahomes. That would be Aaron Rodgers. Have you seen some of the throws they make on the run? So you don't think they want quarterbacks that can utilize their feet, or you want statues? Do I want Justin Herbert? Do I want Tom Brady? Those are the statues. Do I want super duper athletic RPO quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, like Lamar Jackson, like Russell Wilson? So it's good that you got variety, and whatever helps your team win is what you're looking at. But last time I checked, Lamar Jackson about to get paid. Why? Because he has elevated. We don't even talk about Joe Flacco no more. Joe Flacco, well, I got this young kid gone.
I mean, should we talk about Joe? I mean,
listen, for those of you who don't know, that used to be Kevin's favorite quarterback when he was balling. Talk about Joe Flacco like that.
No, Joe Flacco did have a nice run in him.
He did.
But I feel like Joe Flacco was kind of like Eli Manning in the sense that in the regular season, he was kind of okay.
Regular season's dismal.
And then he, I don't know if he's dismal, he's just kind of okay. But then he had that run to playoffs where he was really, really good. And, you maybe had one of the best modern day defenses in the NFL to go along with you.
No, I will say this, Kevin. Somebody say
when you got to the Goose and Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed's like you ought to win a lot of games. If you're
Kevin. Somebody say add Joe Flacco's best. What is it? He's a Super Bowl champion. Most guys can't say that at their best. So for a guy when he came out, thinking went to Delaware first round pick, people like, who is this? Guy 6'6", 6'7", got a big arm. So for what they needed him to do, Ray Lewis get to say, I'm a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and one of them was with Trent Dilfer, and the other one was with Joe Flacco.
I'm saying, has there ever been 2 Super Bowls on that? Where it's like, hey, I've got 2 rings with 2 guys that you might say were like so-so as NFL quarterbacks. I'm trying to think maybe I guess people with the Giants, you could say that with Eli Manning, but
the best team to me, the best team and franchise in the National Football League is Pittsburgh. You could say that the best culture is Baltimore. They might have the best culture there because look at they draft guys, they re-sign them, they develop them. Terrell Suggs going to be a Hall of Famer. Ray Lewis a Hall of Famer. You saw talking about Ed Reed Hall of Famer, and you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, Coach Harbaugh, one of the best coaches because it's consistency. It's something about having a franchise with a head coach that's been there for over a decade, and look at the stability. Because they are the class right now of the NFC North. Take nothing away from what Mike Tomlin is doing with Pittsburgh.
We've got more to come. Here it is, 3 and Out. Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. Streaming live as well, ESPNCoastal.com, and on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Good to have you back here on this Wednesday. Braves fall to the Mets earlier today. They lose 2 out of 3. They're 2.5 back. We'll have the next 4 games with the Washington Nationals before the All-Star break, Ben. So you never know. Still a possibility, depending on what happens with the Mets before the All-Star break. You could end up potentially maybe tied, and for who knows. But you got to play better against the Mets head-to-head. I think ultimately everybody thinks that's what's going to decide this thing at the end of the day.
And it should. Give the Mets a lot of credit. I mean, they stared this very, very dangerous Braves team in the face at home, was able to get 2 out of 3. This Braves team got to go back to the drawing board, Kevin, get back to their winning ways against a Nats team that isn't doing much this year. But, look, I appreciate playoff baseball in July. I appreciate the dog days of summer having something to look forward to because, Kevin, if I'm going to watch a game and it was hot in the ATL, you still had fireworks out there. So shout out to the Mets for making it happen. I know the Braves gonna get guys back like like Ozzie. They're gonna be he'll be back here sooner rather than later. I like to see Rosario getting into the swing of things. But hey man, get back the ways you want to go into the All-Star break. With it, you don't want to let that Mets team lengthen that 2.5 game lead. You want to keep it right there around 2.5. Hopefully, Mets y'all lose, Braves win, and they start getting some wins without having to play head to head.
Absolutely. And again, I think offensively the Braves did not play their best. I think they only, if I heard this correctly, they only scored runs off home runs in this series. So that's tough. I mean, you can win games that way, but that's tough to do if you're relying on that, obviously, in big series like you are with the Mets. You got to be able to put the ball in play. Had some opportunities, and outside of some nice home runs, should be able to do it. And as you said, speaking of home runs, Ben, Austin Riley against 25. I saw he's not in the All-Star game. People say like he might be added late for whatever reason. But I saw today he was only the 5th or 6th Brave in franchise history to have 25 homers before the All-Star break. Hank Aaron did it 3 times. Austin Riley did it. Dale Murphy, Chipper Jones, Andrew. You're in some pretty good company.
I'm just saying. And Dale Murphy be saying Riles every time he hit home.
He's in some pretty good company. Why is he not in the All-Star break? It's a popularity contest. I get it, but come on. Baseball fans, open your eyes. Come on. The dude deserves to be there. He's having a phenomenal year. We'll come back tomorrow. Braves Nationals tomorrow. We're into a Thursday, getting close to SEC Media Days, which means college football officially back. You're starting to feel it. Big 12 Media Day started, but when the SEC does it, it feels like football season is finally here. We'll have more on that and more. We will see you tomorrow, 3 and Out, all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. We stream live, ESPNCoastal.com. If you missed any of the show, you can go to ESPN Coastal's page on YouTube and catch it there. We'll see you tomorrow here on 3 and Out.